And introducing the Hawkeyes, the champions of the Mearns Cup from upstate New York. Here's their roster with transition number 8, Nicholas Long, transition number 9, Tyler Good, transition number 10, Hunter Goodman, forward number 11, Colt Green, forward number 12, Nick Cartmel, forward number 13, Matt Hayden, forward number 14, Patrick Mitchell, forward number 15, Bailey Martin, forward number 16, Tyler Stifel, forward number 17, Matthew Blythe, forward number 18, Colin Blakesley, defender number 19, Connor Thornton, defender number 20, Dean Zervos, forward number 21, Rocco Santillo, forward number 22, Tyler Gould, forward number 23, Nick Miller, defender number 24, Charles Robbins, defense number 25, Austin Kelly, forward number 26, Zach Terry, goalie number 30, John Jacobs, goalie number 30, Kyle Mahar, defender number 44, Connor Finger, and forward number 88, Roger Singh. The coaches for the Hawkeyes are Dan Coates and Brendan Dobbins. And introducing the Constitutional Cup champions, the home team for today's matchup from the Connecticut Collegiate Box Lacrosse League, the Revolution, with number 2, Solomon Hess, number 5, Ethan Kessler, number 7, Matthew Bologna, number 8, Jacob Leibowitz, number 9, Bowden Bounds, number 10, Timmy Lay, number 11, Sebastian Uwipuma, number 12, Ethan Hanley, number 13, Brendan Rye, number 14, Ryan Colsey, number 15, Jack Savarese, number 17, Jason Pachota, number 21, Rocco Mazzi, number 25, Cooper DeMalley, number 30, Connor Atkinson, number 30, Cam Pilon, number 40, Amos Gilbert, number 41, Riley Strum, number 81, Chris Crapanzano, coaching for the Revolution, Mike Regan, Andrew Cicaldi, and Roy Colsey. Game number 2 of the day is between the Revolution from Connecticut and the Hawkeyes from upstate New York, leagues that were represented here last year, but these are teams making their first appearance in the NCBS National Championship Tournament. Hawkeyes with the green uniforms, the yellow numbering and black trim. And both of these teams coming off of wins yesterday. It was the Hawkeyes defeating the Grays 9-6, and the Revolution defeated the Rivermen 14-12. Although in both of those games, those teams each had bigger margins than what the end of the score would show. Takeaway here by the Hawkeyes with starting in goal, John Jacobs. He got the start yesterday, and Cam Pilon got the start, came off, but came back on for the Revolution. Miller with the shot and the save made by Pilon for the Revolution. Miller gets the rebound, 4th round draft pick for the Bandits. And the shot from the wing, and the Hawkeyes will get on the board. Miller gets the rebound, 4th round draft pick for the Bandits. And Hawkeyes goal scored by Zach Terry. Time of the goal, 2 minutes of the first quarter. Terry for the Hawkeyes at 2 minutes of the first. So early 1-0 lead on the goal from Zach Terry for the Hawkeyes, as an in the crease is called and the Hawkeyes will get it back. Terry had 5 goals yesterday to lead the way in the 9-6 win against the Grays. Behind the net for Mitchell. Miller, the leading playmaker for the Hawkeyes, makes the pass out to the top, but it's out of the reach of Cartmel. Cartmel will retreat to get it back. Miller muscles it towards goal, and The stop is made by Pilon, but the Hawkeyes keep the pressure on, leading 1-0. Shot from the point, and Terry able to sneak it through, but Pilon able to make the save. 1-0 lead for the Hawkeyes, 5-1 lead in terms of shots. Revolution looking to get things going on offense. Cross-court pass, and a high shot coming from Savarese, who had a couple of goals last night in the win for the Revolution, 14-12 against the Rivermen. Revolution getting the win, scoring the first 6 goals of the game and leading 9-1. But then the Rivermen started to come back, had a 5-0 run of their own, and in the end it was just a 2-goal win for the Revolution. Pilon falls to his knees, taking on Terry, who was able to maneuver away from the defense. Revolution head the other direction. The Hawkeyes win last night, 9-6. They also got off to a quick start against the Grays, leading 4-0 early and 5-1 at halftime, but the Grays came back, scoring 4 of 5 to get within one, 6-5, as a run towards goal is made by Capanzano, and the stop made by Jacobs. But in the end, the final 3 goals were scored by the Hawkeyes to get a 4-goal cushion and ultimately win 9-6. Through 5 minutes of this first quarter, Miller cross court, and the windup that goes way wide from Santillo. Shot clock expires as the ball rolls all the way down into Hawkeyes territory, where the Revolution will set up shop. So both of these teams benefiting from fast starts last night. The 6-0 run by the Revolution against the Rivermen, the 4-0 start to the game by the Hawkeyes against the Grays. Shot comes for the Revolution from Kelly, who, or pardon me, that was Damali for the Revolution. Blythe makes the pass to the point, and head of steam for Colt Green, who now passes it into the corner. Cross court for Miller. Miller gets the screen. Miller, as the shot clock expired, wasn't aware of how much was left, and low scoring first quarter through the first 6+ minutes. The 1 goal coming from the leading scorer for the Hawkeyes in Zach Terry. Terry lives in Rochester in the summer times, plays college lacrosse the rest of the year, based in South Carolina at Limestone University. Ball gets knocked off of the line, and some physical play that will result in an illegal cross-check penalty. And we'll get our first penalty of the game here. And it's going to go against the Hawkeyes, so the Revolution, down 1-0, will have the chance at a power play. Penalty against the Hawkeyes. Patrick Mitchell, 2 minutes for an illegal cross-check at 7 minutes of the first quarter. Two-on-one, short-handed, and a short-handed goal for the Hawkeyes. Taking it all the way himself. Two-on-one, short-handed, and Hawkeyes goal scored shorthanded by Colin Blakesley at 7 minutes 40 seconds of the first quarter. Blakesley shorthanded for the Hawkeyes at 7:40 of the first. First goal of the tournament for Colin Blakesley. And a 2-0 lead as we enter the final 6 minutes, 45 seconds of the first quarter. Pass by Crapanzano is broken up. Shot clock winding down, and Crapanzano looks to recover with a shot from the wing that gets blocked, and then he sustains a big check, but it's gonna draw a penalty by Santillo for an illegal cross check, and Revolution will go up 2 men. Penalty against the Hawkeyes. Rocco Santillo, 2 minutes for an illegal cross-check at 9 minutes of the first quarter. First penalty comes to an end. A shot from the point was attempted by Colsey, who had 4 goals last night for the Revolution in their win against the Rivermen. Hawkeye still down a man, though, after the illegal cross-check penalty by Santillo against Crapanzano. Short-handed shot. Pilon able to make the stop on Finger, who got the first goal of the game last night for the Hawkeyes in the win against the Grays. Nearing 5 minutes to go in a defensive first quarter. Defense was the forte for the Hawkeyes en route to the Mearns Cup win. Converging on the goal and firing it from straight away is Gilbert. But one and done for the Revolution on that power play possession, and the Hawkeyes will get it back inside of a minute to kill off. Green makes the cross-court pass. Miller gets away from his defender. Long shot that was a bit tricky for Pilon to maneuver, and ultimately picking it up on the second opportunity. Sort of like a tough curveball for a catcher in baseball that bounces in the dirt. Revolution looking to get on the scoreboard. They have 10 seconds left in the power play. Crapanzano to the point to Colsey, down low, and Jacobs able to keep that one out of the back of the net. Penalty expires, and a shot clock violation called. We didn't hear the horn sound. Up ahead for a 2-on-0, and Pilon able to make the stop on Gould. Terry off of the bench. He's got a shooting lane, fires Pilon to his knees to make the stop. 3.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Some checking with 3 Hawkeyes defenders in front of their own bench looking for the takeaway, and they get it. And it's Martin who leaves it for Finger. Miller looks back at the bench for the play, gives it to Terry. Those two have been an almost unstoppable force in the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League. Long, up top, Miller, behind the back shot, and it goes wide to the left of Pilon as the shot clock was about to expire. Actually, Pilon got a piece of it, so the shot clock does reset. 1-on-2 for the Revolution for Timmy Lay, who waits for support coming off of the bench. Colsey from the point, over to the far side. And back for Strum, who shoots it from straight away. Loose ball over to the far boards, and a fresh 30 for Colsey. Tight defense by the Hawkeyes. Strum sustains contact, bounces off it, fires it. It's gonna bounce back into Revolution territory and be over and back to the Hawkeyes with 1 minute and 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. Run towards goal from Miller, falls in the crease, and it's going to go back to the Revolution. Hawkeyes played in the late game last night, which wrapped up about 10 o'clock on the West Coast. That would have been 1 a.m. for them on the East Coast. They did get to sleep in a little bit longer than their opponent from last night, the Grays. Still had a long day yesterday. Hawkeyes coming out from Buffalo on a 5:35 a.m. flight and having to transfer through Chicago's Midway Airport. Pass makes it through to Pilon, who traps it in the big stick. For the Revolution from Connecticut, they were able to take a direct flight to San Francisco, leaving at 7:30 a.m. from JFK in New York. They'll have the red eye back on Saturday night. In fact, both of these teams will be on the red eye after a long weekend that will include at least 4 games for each team, 3 in round robin play. The top 4 to the semifinals tomorrow morning, and there'll also be a 5-6 consolation game, and the 2 teams that play in the finals will play a 2nd game tomorrow and a 5th game overall. Inside of 10 seconds to go in the first quarter, and Lay 1 against 2. Time winding down, looking to make the pass to Bounds, but it bounces off of the far boards, and a low-scoring first quarter comes to an end. That's the end of the first quarter. The score after 1, Hawkeyes 2, Revolution 0. Hawkeyes getting goals 2 minutes in from Zach Terry, and then a shorthand tally from Colin Blakesley halfway through the first quarter. They lead 2-0, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with the second quarter on NCBS.TV. We're back from the Plex in San Jose, California. A full slate of box lacrosse games throughout the day, starting with game number 1 that the Stoneflies won against the Grays with a big comeback and got the job done 11-8 after being down 7-3 in the second half. And here the Hawkeyes with a 2-0 lead as quarter number 2 starts against the Revolution. shot from Colt Green goes wide, and now the Revolution go the other way. The Revolution, the Constitutional Cup champions, that last year went to the Generals, who came out to San Jose and finished with a 1-3 record, 4th in the standings. 2-on-1 here for the Hawkeyes, and some nice maneuvering towards goal by Martin, but the stop is made by Pilon. Hawkeyes winning the Mearns Cup in the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League, named for Randy Mearns, the longtime player, announcer, coach, now coaching for St. Bonaventure. Last year it was the Armory who represented the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League as the Mearns Cup champions, and they made it to the finals here at the NCBS Championship, losing in overtime 12-11 to the Royals. Royals are back this year representing California, and they won't be in action until 3:30 this afternoon, so they played the first game yesterday and then have a longer break than any of the other teams before starting their first of 2 games tonight at 3:30 and 6:30. Cross-court pass to Crapanzano. Crapanzano gets some room to maneuver, shoots, and Jacobs makes the save. Crapanzano gets it back. Crapanzano's those quick bursts of speed. Passes it to Colsey. Colsey with a shooting lane, bounces it in front. And the stop is made by John Jacobs. Hawkeyes get it back. They're one of 2 teams in the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League based in Rochester, along with the Armory, who came out last year to San Jose. And then you have the 2 teams based in Buffalo, the Buffaloes and the Rapids. Miller the shot, and the stop is made by Pilon. Shots 13-7 in favor of the Hawkeyes. Terry, who got the first goal of the game, turns and fires and muscles it towards goal, but Pilon is able to make the save. 3 minutes gone by in a scoreless second quarter. Savarese, cross court. Running it out to the point is Strum, and sticked from the ground by the goalkeeper Jacobs. Both goalies for both teams wear number 30 jerseys, and it's just a matter of finding out based on the helmet cover which goalie is the one that is between the pipes. Ball slips away from Cartmill as the shot clock expires. The Revolution will get it back. Looking to press forward in transition, but it's broken up at a chance at a breakaway for Blythe. Blythe dekes, beautiful move. Put Pilon to his knees. And then Blythe puts it high over Pilon in transition, but it's broken up at a chance at a breakaway for Blythe. Blythe dekes, beautiful move. 3-0 lead for the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes goal scored by Matthew Blythe. Time of the goal, 4 minutes of the second quarter. Blythe for the Hawkeyes at 4 minutes of the second. Crapanzano takes the draw, wins the draw, has black tape on his jersey to make the number 81 to differentiate him from Jacob Leibowitz. Jacob's able to trap that one, but the Revolution will get it back through 5 minutes in this second quarter. Hanley, cross court, pass down low. Crapanzano takes the pass on the run, fires it behind the back, it goes high. And it's picked up by the Hawkeyes defense. Finger will now dish it off to the playmaker Miller, who led the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League with 32 assists, 54 points total. Terry, the leading goal scorer for the Hawkeyes, muscles it towards goal. Pilon able to make the stop. He's faced 15 shots, stopped 12 of them, so good save percentage for him, and a clean sheet so far being put up by the Hawkeyes goalkeeper, John Jacobs. Savarese met by his defender. So he'll give it up for Colsey, who bounces it, but it will go high and out of play. Referees step in to break things up between Dean Zervos for the Hawkeyes and Riley Strum for the Revolution, and Zervos is going to go to the box for a slashing penalty. Penalty against the Hawkeyes. Dean Zervos, 2 minutes for slashing. Time of the penalty, 6 minutes, 30 seconds of the second quarter. Crapanzano pass behind the net and brought out in front for the wraparound and the goal. It took a second for the referees to confirm it, but Ryan Colsey will put it in the... Crapanzano pass behind the net and brought out in front for the wraparound. And the Revolution are on the board with their first goal of the night, first power play goal coming in 3 attempts. Revolution goal, power play goal, scored by Ryan Colsey, assisted by Chris Crapanzano at 7 minutes of the second quarter. Colsey from Crapanzano on the power play for the Revolution at 7 minutes of the second. So the first 3 goals by the Hawkeyes, Revolution getting on the board on their third power play attempt. Nice feed by Crapanzano behind the net to Colsey, who puts it in on the wraparound. Revolution get it back off the shot clock violation by the Hawkeyes. Colsey again, and this time Jacobs is in position to go to his knees and make the stop. Outlet pass out of the reach of Hayden, who has to go into the corner to retrieve it. Miller down low, finds Terry, and his shot goes wide from right in front of the goal. Pass out in front, fanned on for the one-timer by Martin. Miller looking to chase it down and colliding with Hess, and the referees are not going to let things get out of hand, and both players are going to go to the box. Looks like they're still jawing at each other from across the way. Penalties on the play for the Revolution. Solomon Hess. For the Hawkeyes, Nick Miller. 2 minutes each for roughing in 9 minutes 20 seconds of the second quarter. Colsey makes the pass up top. Shot clock winding down behind the back attempt there by Amos Gilbert. Gets it back and tries another behind the back shot. Battle for it, with the Hawkeyes ultimately coming away with it. Tyler Gould picks it up. Santillo with a run towards goal, tries to get his own rebound. Shot clock expires on the Hawkeyes, and the Revolution get it back. It continues to be a low-scoring game. Chance at a 2-on-1 there. Passes out of the reach of Strum from Pachoda, and Hawkeyes will get it back. So the Hawkeyes got the first 3 goals of the game, 2 in the first, 1 in the opening 4 minutes of the second quarter. Revolution taking 1 back on the power play, and we stand 3-1 with less than 4 minutes to go in the first half. Running it out to the point. Pilon able to make the stop on the play against Blakesley, but in trying to outlet it, Pilon's high pass ricochets off of the rafters, and the Hawkeyes get it back. Pass into the center behind the back shot, and the attempt there from Blakesley stopped by Pilon. Colsey with a head of steam, but now retreats into the corner. Hanley, Savarese, Colsey picks it up off of the bounce, less than 3 minutes to go. Colsey winds up through traffic, and a pad save is made by Jacobs. Jacobs, the starting goalie, both of these games, backed up by Kyle Mahar, who played for the Armory that came out to San Jose last year from upstate New York. 2.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Hawkeyes with the ball, 2-goal lead, 3-1. Terry, 5 goals last night, 1 goal tonight, or this afternoon. We're gonna be here a while, and Terry enjoys playing here in San Jose, and through traffic, he took his time, and 1 goal tonight, or this afternoon. We're gonna be here a while, and Terry Hawkeyes goal, second of the game, scored by Zach Terry at 13 minutes of the second quarter. Terry with his second for the Hawkeyes at 13 minutes of the second. So Hawkeyes go up 4-1. Minute and a half to go in the first half. Hawkeyes really strong defensively. They win the face-off there. Play stops with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go, and we're gonna get, I believe it's gonna be an illegal substitution penalty against the Revolution. Actually, it's going to be a timeout called by the Revolution. Timeout called by the Revolution. So teams with a chance to talk things over with 1 minute and 12 seconds to go in what has been a defensive first half, which suits the Hawkeyes just well. They made it to the NCBS National Championship with strong defensive efforts in the playoffs. They beat the Buffaloes 12-6, and then they defeated the Rapids in the finals by a score of 15-6. Rapids, newest team in the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League this year, that saw quite a resurgence in enrollment from players to play in the summer, going from about 70 players last year to 90 this year, so adding a 4th team in the Rapids. Big physical team based in Buffalo. Together with the Buffaloes, you have the Hawkeyes and the Armory based in Rochester. This league, a great partnership with the NLL teams, the Buffalo Bandits and the Rochester Nighthawks. And that's one of the goals, is to have the NCBS ultimately help feed talent to the professional ranks in the NLL. Back to action. 1 minute to go in the second quarter. Bandits drafting one of the Hawkeyes players, Nick Miller, in the 4th round. Ball rolls behind the net with 45 seconds to go in the second quarter. Revolution getting their lone goal from Ryan Colsey on the power play off a nice pass from Crapanzano. Colsey winds up from the wing. Shot is stopped by Jacobs. Colsey gets his own rebound. Crapanzano steps into it, fires and scores! So a mirror image of the first goal. This time it's Crapanzano taking the pass. Jacobs. Colsey gets his own rebound. Crapanzano steps into it, fires and scores! The final 30 seconds. Revolution goal scored by Chris Crapanzano, assisted by Ryan Colsey. Time of the goal, 14 minutes, 40 seconds of the second quarter. Crapanzano from Colsey for the Revolution at 14:40 of the second. That's the end of the second quarter. At halftime, the score, Hawkeyes 4, Revolution 2. Defense leads the way in the first half between two teams that won last night, the Hawkeyes and the Revolution. Both teams started very strong last night. The Hawkeyes leading 4-0 against the Grays, and the Revolution leading 6-0 against the Rivermen. But both teams matching up very well here. Goals have been few and far between, but the ones that we've seen scored have been some good quality lacrosse. And that goal in the final 20 seconds of the first half by Crapanzano, a ripper off of the feed from Colsey, and that makes it a bit more manageable. A 2-goal lead for the Hawkeyes, 4-2 at halftime. But remember what happened in the last game. It was a last-minute goal for the Stoneflies that got them to within 2 against the Grays, and then a strong second half by the Stoneflies gave them the 11-8 win. And now the Revolution will try and do the same, getting some momentum going to the halftime break. We will break too and be back with the second half from the Plex here in San Jose. You're watching the 2022 NCBS National Championship, produced by Scorebreak on ncbs.tv.
Very early in my lacrosse career, I gained an appreciation for the value of box lacrosse as it carried over into field lacrosse, and every kid should be starting by playing box lacrosse instead of field lacrosse. So many young men from Canada who play box lacrosse are getting a lot of scholarship money in the U.S. for college. By starting this thing in the U.S. now, I really believe that we're going to have a great symbiotic kind of relationship between the education you can get in college, but the kids being better skilled to play field lacrosse through box. You never see a kid come off the rink without a smile on his face, win, lose, or draw. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Number one, it's so much fun. Nobody's pigeonholed into a position. You know, everybody's up. In field lacrosse, you throw a ball over someone's head, it rolls 30 yards, it goes out of bounds. In box, it stays in play. So that the quick, oh my God, I failed. There is no failure. It just, oh my God, it's in play in a different way. Than the 30-second shot clock and the speed at which it's played can only enhance what we're doing in field lacrosse at the college level. The key for me is using lacrosse to make young people happy.
to the Silver Creek Sportsplex in San Jose, California, with two teams from the East Coast taking each other on. The champions of the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League, the Hawkeyes, based in Rochester, New York, with a 4-2 lead against the Connecticut Collegiate Box Lacrosse League champions, the Revolution. We're in very much the same position that we were in the first game today. 2-goal lead at the break for the Hawkeyes after a last-minute goal, in fact, a last 22nd goal by the Revolution to get the momentum, and we'll see what they do with it coming out in the second half. And the first shot of the half taken by Gilbert. Both teams keeping their same goalies from the first half in the pipes, and the first test for Pilon in goal for the Revolution in this second half against the leading scorer for the Hawkeyes, and he's up to the test, making the stop on Zach Terry. Shot from the wing, and it comes from Lay. Save is made by Jacobs, and play stops as we're through the first minute and 15 seconds of this third quarter. Revolution will have the ball off of the reset. Shot from the wing from Savarese, stopped by Jacobs. Both goalies have been quite capable in this defensive effort. Miller from off the bench gets met by a defender and will knock that defender over. That's Solomon Hess from the Revolution, and the ball gets turned over to the Revolution. Savarese straight away, and it'll bounce out of play and go back to the Hawkeyes. Miller with a head of steam, 1v2, takes the shot, stopped by Pilon. Miller has some words for the referee, sustaining some physical contact. Jump shot and goal for the Revolution with the burst of speed from Crapanzano, who got jump shot. 3 minutes of this second half. He's brought the Revolution to within one, and now he'll get set to take the face-off for the Revolution. Revolution goal. Scored by Chris Crapanzano. His second of the game coming at 3 minutes of the third quarter. Crapanzano with his second for the Revolution at 3 minutes of the third. So 2 straight goals by the Revolution, and now a 4-1 deficit has been reduced to 4-3. Pass bounces off of the boards. And Finger will split defender, shoot backhanded, and Pilon makes the stop and is able to negate any rebound opportunity. Shots are even, 21-21 up ahead for Colsey. Point blank opportunity. Savarese tries to chase it down in the corner. Met by 2 defenders. Ball bounces high, and the Hawkeyes will come away with it. Mitchell, 1 against 2, so he'll wait for support coming off of the bench. Delayed penalty coming up against the Revolution. Extra attacker on for the Hawkeyes. And it's going to go through Pilon, getting into the corner off of the fling from the point from Mitchell. Let's see, coming up against the Revolution. Extra attacker on for the Hawkeyes. And let's see, 2-0 run by the Revolution with the goal from Patrick Mitchell. Hawkeyes goal scored by Patrick Mitchell at 5 minutes of the third quarter. Mitchell for the Hawkeyes at 5 minutes of the third. Colsey takes the pass coming off of the bench, fires through traffic, and it rolls back towards the center line. Crapanzano, with the last 2 goals for the Revolution, is met by a double team. Wraparound attempt, backhanded shot taken for the Revolution by Damali. And the shot clock expires. Miller, far side, runs it to the point. Down low, threads the needle and connects with Colt Green for the second straight goal for the Hawkeyes. Miller, far side, runs it to the point. Down low. Hawkeyes goal scored by Colt Green, assisted by Nick Miller at 6 minutes 20 seconds of the third quarter. Green from Miller for the Hawkeyes at 6:20 of the third. Seven minutes through the third quarter, and 3 goals combined through the first 7 minutes as Terry gets his own rebound, shoots and scores! Hawkeyes with 3 straight goals in 3 goals combined through the first 7 minutes as Terry gets his own rebound, shoots and scores! Zach Terry, who had 5 goals in last night's win against the Grays. Hawkeyes goal, third of the game, scored by Zach Terry at 7 minutes 10 seconds of the third quarter. Terry with his third for the Hawkeyes at 7:10 of the third. So a 4-3 lead for the Hawkeyes has now been extended to 7-3. Looking to change that is Gilbert, and his shot goes wide and out of play, and the Hawkeyes will get it back. Finger sustains contact, gives it to Green, who has a goal in this 3-0 run that has given the Hawkeyes a 4-goal cushion, up 7-3, 6.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Running it out to the point and putting it in the back of the net for the Hawkeyes is Cartmill. 4 goals. Running it out to the point. Found their offensive recipe in the kitchen. Hawkeyes goal scored by Nick Cartmill at 8 minutes 50 seconds of the third quarter. Cartmill for the Hawkeyes at 8:50 of the third. Finger adds to it. And the Hawkeyes with a 5-0 run in less than 5 minutes. Hawkeyes goal scored by Connor Finger at 9 minutes 20 seconds of the third quarter. Finger for the Hawkeyes at 9:20 of the third. Timeout called by the Revolution. What a difference we have in this second half. Such a defensive first half with that goal at the end of the half by the Revolution. Chris Crapanzano got it to 4-2. Crapanzano comes out in the second half, makes it 4-3. All right, we're getting set for a defensive back and forth effort. And all of a sudden, the Hawkeyes, the floodgates have opened here as they get 5 goals in a span of 4.5 minutes. And they've come from 5 different players. A total of 7 different players have scored the Hawkeyes 9 goals, now up 9-3. This matchup between the Hawkeyes and the Revolution, between two teams that won their games last night. Face-off won by the Hawkeyes. Finger was the one taking the draw, and he gets the ball back and makes the pass over to Miller. Miller runs it to the point, shoots, and Pilon to his knees to make the save. And the strategy the Hawkeyes are taking, just put it on goal. They've gotten 5 goals from 5 different players in the last 5 minutes. Gonna get an illegal substitution penalty called against the Revolution, so their woes continue after they felt like they were just getting back in the thick of things. Penalty is called against the Revolution. 2 minutes for an illegal substitution at 10 minutes 20 seconds of the third quarter. Penalty for the Revolution being served by Jack Savarese. Power play goal for the Hawkeyes right off the bat. Penalty for the Revolution being served by Jack Savarese. Goal. Hawkeyes goal, power play goal. Second goal of the game scored by Matthew Blythe off assists from Colt Green and Rocco Santillo at 11 minutes of the third quarter. Blythe with his second on the power play, assisted by Green and Santillo at 11 minutes of the third. .60 run for the Hawkeyes will come to an end with a goal by Green and Santillo at 11 minutes of the third. Down low for the Revolution was Cooper DeMalley, and DeMalley able to sneak behind for the one-timer. Revolution goal scored by Cooper DeMalley at 11 minutes 30 seconds of the third quarter. DeMalley for the Revolution at 11:30 of the third. So the dust settling after that 6-0 run by the Hawkeyes in this quarter. It comes to an end on that goal by DeMalley for the Revolution, but a 10-4 lead for the Hawkeyes as we approach 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. DeMalley runs it out to the point, fires through traffic, ball bouncing in front of the goal, and Jacobs controls it. Hawkeyes will play in the final game tonight at 6:30 against the Royals from California. So they'll go into their final matchup with a little bit more rest than the Royals will have, as they'll have 3 games in between and the Royals will have just 1. Colsey has the goal waved off as he was in the crease. Revolution, they'll only have 1 game off to recoup as they'll take on the Royals at 3:30. Miller from the point, stop made by Pilon. Rebound bounces behind the net. Terry tries to get it instead, between Hawkeyes players, the Revolution come away with it, courtesy of Pachota, and he gets knocked down, loses it, and so the Hawkeyes will get it back with now 35 seconds to go in third quarter, in which they've outscored the Revolution 6-2. 2 more goals in this quarter than they got in the whole first half. Miller, hard shot from the point. Stop is made by Pilon, and an extra attacker comes on for the Hawkeyes on this delayed penalty to the Revolution. Spin move, what a goal for the Hawkeyes from Bailey Martin. Like a running back on this delayed penalty to the Revolution. Spin move, what a, and fired it high into the back of the net past Pilon to punctuate a phenomenal third quarter for the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes goal, scored by Bailey Martin at 14 minutes 55 seconds of the third quarter. Martin for the Hawkeyes at 14:55 of the third. That's the end of the third quarter. The score going to the fourth. Hawkeyes 11, Revolution 4. A 7-2 third quarter puts the Hawkeyes up by 7, 11-4. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with the fourth quarter between the champions from upstate New York and Connecticut from the Plex on NCBS.TV. Opening face-off of the fourth quarter, and Crapanzano winning it for the Revolution in a much different position for his team than this point in the previous quarter, when the Revolution had the momentum, went into the halftime breakdown just 4-2. Crapanzano got a goal in the opening 3 minutes, but then the Hawkeyes scoring 6 straight, with 5 of them coming in less than 5 minutes. And now a bigger cushion for the Hawkeyes, up 11-4. They're going to get a beauty behind the back shot that goes into the back of the net. As Colt Green, 5 of them coming in less than 5 minutes. And now a bigger cushion for the Hawkeyes, up, and the punctuation mark to 5 of them coming in less than 5 minutes. And now a bigger cushion for the Hawkeyes, up 11. Goal, took the pass and flung it behind his back into the back of the net. Hawkeyes goal, scored by Nick Miller, assisted by Colt Green at 1 minute of the 4th quarter. Miller from Green for the Hawkeyes at 1 minute of the 4th. So now a 12-4 lead on that highlight reel goal from Nick Miller, who becomes the 9th different player to score for the Hawkeyes, led by the hat trick from Zach Terry. Miller puts in his 2nd in a row. The finesse play previously, the power here as he rips it into the back of the net. Miller puts in his 2nd in. Hawkeyes goal, the 2nd of the game, scored by Nick Miller. At 2 minutes of the 4th quarter, Miller with his 2nd for the Hawkeyes at 2 minutes of the 4th. Now in goal for the Revolution is Connor Atkinson. Revolution did bring on goalie Connor Atkinson. (13-4) lead. Hawkeyes looking for more, and Terry with the hard shot that now goes into the corner, and whistle blows the play dead. Miller again! 3 straight goals in a span of 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Miller again! Hawkeyes goal, the 3rd of the game, scored by Nick Miller. Time of the goal, 3 minutes, 15 seconds of the 4th quarter. Miller with his 3rd for the Hawkeyes at 3:15 of the 4th. So now a 10-goal lead, 14-4 for the Hawkeyes. Crapanzano draws 2 defenders, backpedals behind the back shot from Colsey, and it goes wide. I can see what Colsey wanted to do there, but it's a high maneuver that takes a bit of additional finesse that he's tried a few times but hasn't been able to find the back of the net. In the end, a better chance probably coming from the point there from Hanley, but the Hawkeyes now go the other way. So the Hawkeyes, if this score does hold up over the next 10 minutes and 15 seconds, they will improve to 2-0. After this game, you'll have 4 of the 6 teams having played 2 games, and the Hawkeyes will be the lone team at 2-0. We're going to get a penalty here against the Hawkeyes. 2-minute penalty called against the Hawkeyes' Nick Cartmell at 5 minutes, 20 seconds of the fourth quarter. Revolution on the power play. Crapanzano's shot is blocked. Now, granted, if they lose by a margin like this, it's not something that makes you feel good, but they would still be at 1-1, which is where the Stoneflies are at, and it's the Grays who are looking up currently at 0-2. Top 4 teams to advance to the semifinals tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. First semifinal matchup at 9 a.m., second at 10:30 a.m. Then we'll have the consolation game between the number 5 and number 6 teams at noon, and the championships at 1:30, which will, for the 2 finals teams, mark their 5th game in 3 days after many hours of traveling to get here to San Jose. Colsey fakes the pass, takes the shot, and it ricochets off of Jacobs. Goes out of play back to the Revolution. 8 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Pass up to the point. Shot comes from Gilbert, gets his own rebound. Met by 2 defenders, backpedals. Crapanzano now with the low shot. It's hard and wide, and ball rolls back into the Revolution end. It's going to be over and back, and Hawkeyes will just wait for the shot clock to expire on the Revolution. Hawkeyes getting goals from 9 different players, hat tricks from their leading scorers during the regular season. Terry got his hat trick early on in the third quarter, and Miller getting a hat trick with 3 goals in 3 minutes, 15 seconds of this fourth quarter. So the Hawkeyes, a physical and deep team. Player for the Hawkeyes loses his stick. That's Tyler Good, and Good will now pick up his stick after play is stopped, and we'll get a penalty on the play. Penalty on the play against the Revolution, Ryan Colsey. 2 minutes for slashing at 8 minutes, 30 seconds of the fourth quarter. Terry, the Ripper, on the power play. Ball rolls in front, and the goalkeeper Atkinson dives across the goal mouth. Revolution now have it shorthanded with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Crapanzano through traffic, bounces it wide. Transition for the Hawkeyes, who are content just to work through these final 5 minutes, 20 seconds of the fourth quarter. Much like they played in the Mearns Cup playoffs in the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League. Really comprehensive defensive performance that then turns into offense. They outscored their opponents 27-12 in being champions of the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League. They got the win last night 9-6 against the Grays, who, for being an 0-2 team, have actually looked quite good in this NCBS National Championship. And then a close game in the first half, a 4-2 lead at halftime for the Hawkeyes, as Miller will put in his fourth of the game, fourth of the fourth quarter. In fact, he's gotten all the scoring for the Hawkeyes in this fourth quarter. And the Hawkeyes have now, in this second half, outscored the Revolution 11-2. Hawkeyes goal, the fourth of the game, scored by Nick Miller at 11 minutes 40 seconds of the fourth quarter. Miller with his fourth for the Hawkeyes at 10:40 of the fourth. And off of the draw, the Hawkeyes will do some more quarter. Miller with his fourth for the Hawkeyes at 10:40 of the fourth. And they'll now go up 16-4. Face-off went straight to Blythe, who picked up the loose ball, and he's now got a hat trick. Hawkeyes goal, the third of the game, scored by Matthew Blythe at 11 minutes of the fourth quarter. Blythe with his third for the Hawkeyes at 11 minutes of the fourth. Crapanzano's shot goes wide and into the Revolution bench. 3 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Hawkeyes in the midst of a 6-0 run, their second 6-0 run in this second half. They've gotten all 5 goals in this fourth quarter, and when you look at a 6-team tournament where each team plays 3 games in round robin play, the goal differential is one of the tie-breaking elements. Now, one of the things to keep in mind as the Hawkeyes are making this target practice with Cartmill adding his second goal of the game. And to keep in mind, though, goal differential, you can only have a goal differential that gets calculated for tie-breaking purposes of 7 goals, plus or minus, for each game. So yes, this is a 13-goal lead, but it'll be a 7-goal differential in the scorebooks. Hawkeyes goal scored by Nick Cartmill at 12 minutes 30 seconds of the fourth quarter. Cartmill with his second for the Hawkeyes at 12:30 of the fourth. Approaching now the final minute of this fourth quarter, and 17-4 has now become 18-4, with Miller ripping his 5th goal from the point. Hawkeyes goal, the 5th of the game, scored by Nick Miller. Time of the goal, 13 minutes, 30 seconds of the fourth quarter. Miller with his 5th for the Hawkeyes at 13:30 of the fourth. So counting down now the final 80 seconds of an 18-4 lead for the Hawkeyes. Record for goals in an NCBS National Championship tournament. The Rivermen had 23 against the Fighting Bison back in 2019. Wrap-around opportunity, and the Revolution will get a goal. And it's Ryan Colsey who puts it in the back of the net. Less than a minute to go. Revolution goal. Second of the game scored by Ryan Colsey. Time of the goal, 14 minutes, 14 seconds of the fourth quarter. Colsey with his second for the Revolution at 14-14 of the fourth. Last year's tournament, 18 goals were scored by the Rivermen against the Gold Miners. And 18 for the Hawkeyes currently, up 18-5. Colsey, who just got the goal, met by a double team behind the back shot. And now the Hawkeyes with a chance at a breakaway, and good defense there as Bologna was able to knock the ball away for the Revolution from Robbins. And final seconds, Colsey will try some fancy shooting, but it'll be to no avail. Hawkeyes a comprehensive win against the Revolution. That's the end of the fourth quarter. The final score, Hawkeyes 18, Revolution 5. Hawkeyes improved to 2-0 in this 2022 NCBS National Championship. Coming up next, the 2:00 p.m. game, third of 6 games today, will be between the Grays from the Mid-Atlantic Collegiate Box Lacrosse League and the Rivermen from the Ohio Collegiate Box Lacrosse League. So if I told you that the final score was 18-5, you would not have thought that at one point in the second half it was just a 4-3 lead for the Hawkeyes, but they had runs of 6-0 and 8-0, and they demolish the Revolution and send a message to the rest of the teams in the 2022 NCBS National Championship that, like their predecessors last year from the Upstate Collegiate Box Lacrosse League, the Armory, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. They're the lone team at 2-0. We next have the Grays, who lost the first game of the day to the Stoneflies at 0-2, taking on the Rivermen at 0-1, and they'll look to keep their hopes alive to make it to the semifinals tomorrow. We'll be back with that game coming up next on NCBS.TV.